Hello, good morning. It's Phil Thatch and I'm here in Sequatchie County, Tennessee. And I come to this location about every year at this time to try to photograph swallowtail kites, which are often around here. So far I haven't found them, but I thought I would show you the beautiful Sequatchie River here. I'm parked at a little pull-off right by the river. I think people put kayaks and things in right here from time to time. But I so far have been unsuccessful in finding the swallowtail kites. But I think I might be able to find other things to photograph in this area. I didn't bring all of my lenses. I brought the 100 to 500 and I brought the 800 because those are the bird lenses. And then I brought the 24 to 105 kit lens. So I'm just gonna kind of fool around with the camera and see what I can photograph. And hopefully, while I'm doing that, I'll stumble across some swallowtail kites. Well, I started out by noticing, while I wasn't finding the swallowtail kites, I started out making photographs of some beautiful vegetation that I found right here on the side of Sequatchie River. There's a mushroom down here on the ground and some beautiful purple flowers over there, and some sort of oats growing down there right by the river, right by that tree. So I made some photographs of those things. I think I stopped the camera down to f11 and I was shooting it, I think, really slow, 1/60th of a second. So I had the camera not on its fastest drive mode, but not its slowest either. And I would spin off 4 or 5 handheld shots. And usually somewhere in the middle of those 4 or 5, there will be one without motion blur. So let's look at those. I started out using the 100 to 500 and the Canon R6 for photos, and here is probably my favorite photograph of the day. Some beautiful purple wildflowers that were growing kind of in the woods between the road and Sequatchie Creek there. Really beautiful shot. I thought it turned out really nice. And here's some oats that were growing near the creek. I've taken a photograph of some oats like this near Lookout Creek as well, but these were growing near Sequatchie Creek or Sequatchie River, which is no bigger than Lookout Creek. And here are some more of those same oats, and these are actually hanging out over the water there on Sequatchie Creek River. And here is a mushroom that was growing there on kind of the trail from the parking area to the river. And this is the road that where the kites are often found, and I thought this photo with the leading lines and the curve turned out nice. Well, the kites are definitely here. I've seen a couple flying around kind of right back over that way, and usually they'll fly over this field. This is not the spot where I normally have success, so I'm going to go down the road just a little ways, but I definitely saw some flying right here. So they are here once again. You know, these swallowtail kites, they spend most of their life in South America, and then they come up here during the summertime to breed, but they're not supposed to come this far up. They only are supposed to come to like coastal areas in Florida and maybe Alabama, Mississippi, that sort of thing. But these are all the way up in Sequatchie County, Tennessee, and this is the 3rd year they've been here, and they may have been coming here even longer than that, but it's the 3rd year that I've known about it. Let's see if I can get a picture of them. I am not having much luck. I did see the swallowtail kites just briefly, but not even long enough to get my camera out and make a photograph. So I hung around in the area where you usually see the swallowtail kites for a little while, and then I kind of rode around some other areas right around here, and I passed a couple of guys on the side of the road taking pictures of something in the grass, and I thought that was pretty cool, but I didn't speak to them, and I drove all the way down. And then I kind of turned around and came back and spoke to them, and they were also looking for the swallowtail kites, but those guys are totally kindred spirits because they didn't find the swallowtail kites, and they were taking pictures of the little skipper moth / butterfly, but it's not really either one of those. They were taking pictures of skippers in the grass, seeing as how they didn't find the kites. And I told them the kites were here and that I had seen them, so you never know, they may come back. But definitely some kindred spirits out making photos of whatever they can when they can't find what they were actually looking for. So while I was out riding around, I I made a photograph of a mourning dove on a post next to a field with some woods deep in the background that I thought, you know, it's just a mourning dove, so it's not a feather in your cap to get a picture of a mourning dove, but I thought it came out kind of pretty. And then I also found a male, not indigo bunting, I also found a male blue grosbeak on a wire and made a photograph of it. I switched over to the 800mm f11 lens for the rest of the photographs, and here is that mourning dove on a post. I thought this was really beautiful. It's not really a great photograph of a mourning dove, but I thought the entire scene, kind of as almost a landscape photography photo, turned out really pretty. And here is the blue grosbeak. This is two photographs of the same blue grosbeak on the same power line. And I got one picture of it facing in one direction and one picture of it facing in the other direction. These photographs are heavily cropped because it was really a long way away, but I still like the way they turned out. Well, I hung around here for about an hour and a half, never saw the kites again, but it was still a nice morning. It's really beautiful out here in, I guess this is Sequatchie Valley. I guess that's what you would call this part of Sequatchie County. Just beautiful right here, all this farmland, which is where the kites usually fly around and catch, I think they catch grasshoppers and eat them. But although I did see the kites, I didn't get a single picture, so success, seeing the kites, fail, getting a picture. I believe 2 years ago I had a video that I made right here in this exact location that was called a successful failure. So here I am again, failing. But I did manage to get some pictures that I enjoyed making, and hopefully they'll turn out kind of pretty. So all in all, not a bad morning. You know, beats sitting around the house watching cartoons or something. So thanks for joining me, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye-bye.